when I come to the National Race Recognition Program. It changed courts. Courts were involved in changing the law. So, but it's based on this theorem. So let's give a proof of it because it is so simple and good. Alright. So I'd like to give a proof of this theorem. Well, let's look at the men proposing procedure. And suppose we look at a man, say again Mr. D, and he ends up with his wife, right? He ends up with X. Well, all the women that he likes more than X. Okay. Let's look inside the mind of Mr. D. So he ends up with X as a result of the men proposing procedure. There's a matching. I'm looking at Mr. D. This is his wife. Now, all the women who he likes more than X in his preference, he must have proposed to them and he must have been rejected by them. So, if I can show that these are not in what M, then I prove the theorem. So, I have to prove, in order to establish the theorem, I have to show that it is never the case, when you follow the men proposing procedure, it's never the case that a man is rejected by a woman who is possible for him. Okay? And now, I'm going to prove this by what is called proof by contradiction. Suppose it happens that men are rejected by women who are possible for him. I want to show this is not true. So I'm going to assume it's true and show you that it leads to a contradiction. So suppose that it is the case that a man is rejected by a woman, some men are rejected by women who are possible for them. Well, we call this a bad event. And if bad events occur, I want to look at the earliest date on which a bad event occurs. Okay? So, look at the earliest date on which a bad event occurs. Bad event occurs, i.e., a man is rejected by a woman who is possible for him. Possible for him. Huh? So we are looking, by the way, we are following, we are doing the men proposing procedure. So in the men proposing procedure, look at the earliest date on which bad event occurs. I want to put a magnifying glass on that bad event. So, dates 1, 2, 3, t minus 1, date t. Here is the first bad event. Okay? Here there are no bad events. No bad. Okay. So on this day a bad event occurs. Some man is rejected by a woman who is possible for them. Maybe 2, 3 men are rejected by women who are possible for them. There is at least one. Look at that case. So what happens here, let's say, is that Mary rejects John, and it must be because in favor of Bob, right? Somebody else is wrong. So this is the bad event. Well, what makes it bad is that Mary should be possible for John, right? Huh? And what does that mean? So this by itself doesn't make it a bad event, plus another balloon, in which we say there is a stable matching, in which John is married to Mary. This says Mary is possible for John. Can you see it draw? So let me draw the balloon better. I can't. We don't need this anymore. So what makes it a bad event is the combination of two balloons. The first balloon is this, and the second balloon is there is a presumably stable matching in which John is married to Mary. Right? There is some stable matching, not accessible via men proposing or women proposing or necessarily. Some stable matching in which John is married to Mary. That means John is possible for Mary. Mary is possible for John. And here, John is rejected by Mary. So he's rejected by a woman who is possible for him. That's the value. Okay. Now I want to look inside the mind of Bob and Mary and guess and write down what I can about their preferences. Well, what can I say about Mary? I can say at least that she likes Bob more than John, right? So Mary, we know whatever her preferences are, Bob is above John. There may be other people. Okay? Agreed? What can I say? This is what I can say about Mary. What can I say about Bob's preference? Well, this is stable matching. So Bob is also married to somebody here in this matching. Let's say he's married to Kate. Okay? So Kate is possible for Bob. Now, I'm asking you, how do we compare Mary and Kate?
Kate is a no-name.
Huh? Okay. Oh.
Kate is a no-name.
Somewhere is Mary, correct? Look at the women that he ranks above Mary. All the women that he ranks above Mary. He must have proposed to them and been rejected by them before he proposed to them. Correct?
Yes.
Now, so these women rejected Bob on days 1 through T minus 1. In one of those days. Because on day T, he is proposing to them. So all the women he liked more, he was rejected by them on days before day T. But no bad event occurs on day 1 to T minus 1. So none of these women are possible. They are not possible for Bob. Therefore, but Kate is possible for Bob. And none of these women are possible for Bob. And therefore Kate is below Bob. Okay? But now, observe that Mary likes Bob more than John, has proved that. And simultaneously, Bob likes Mary more than Kate, has proved that. And therefore this matching is not stable. And I have proved it here. Okay. Some remarks. Two theorems. That there is always a stable matching, and indeed there is a handy way to get to it. There is a procedure called the men proposing procedure, which can quickly compute a stable match. There may be other stable matches. But this matching will be optimal for men in the sense that theorem 2 describes. That's all I've shown. First, a few quick remarks. You could have imagined a roommate problem, okay, where there are n men, no women. Let's for simplicity say n is an even number, and two guys have to share a room. So half the number of rooms, two guys per room. Each guy could rank the other guy. Yeah? And you could again define what is stable. If it's possible for two guys who like each other more than their partners, then they will not accept their partners and go off with each other and say, we are the pair.